It's difficult to say if South Dakota's newly enfranchised women voters had an immediate impact on state politics. 3 years after women got the vote, Gladys Pyle, the daughter of Mamie Shields Pyle, became the first woman elected to the State House of Representatives, where she served until 1927. Pyle served as South Dakota's Secretary of State from 1927 to 1930. She became the first woman elected to represent South Dakota in the U.S. Senate in 1938. She was elected to fill the vacancy left by Peter Norbeck, who died while in office. Stephanie Herseth Sandlin became the first woman to represent South Dakota in the U.S. House of Representatives. Her grandfather had served as governor and her grandmother as Secretary of State. Her father had been a state senator.
So I remember feeling so honored and so grateful that late night when it became clear I had squeaked out a victory in the special election and traveling to Washington for my swearing in and thinking about all of the women who had helped me, all of the women who had gone before, like Gladys Pyle, like my grandma Lorna, but the women who I had observed and who helped me even in my formative years in high school and college that served in the state legislature, Judy Olson Duhamel from Rapid City, Pam Nelson from here in Sioux Falls, but also Mary McClure from Redfield, near where I grew up, women on both sides of the aisle, but then all of my peers across generations of women all over the state along the ideological spectrum who helped organize and work so hard to help me get there, to represent women in South Dakota, to offer that voice, to break that glass ceiling. It was so, it was an extraordinary time, an extraordinary moment.
Kristi Noem, who succeeded Stephanie Herseth Sandlin in the U.S. House of Representatives, was elected as South Dakota's first woman governor in 2018.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of women gaining the right to vote here in South Dakota and across the country. I am so incredibly grateful for those who did the work to ensure that we all get the chance to vote and participate.
Kristi Noem is one of 9 women governors in office in 2020. Women occupy nearly 24% of the seats in the U.S. House of Representatives and 26% in the Senate. Women have made great progress in the American political arena, but the issue of legal and social equality for all women remains unresolved worldwide. The first attempt to add an Equal Rights Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was made in 1923. The ERA was hotly debated during the 1970s, but widespread enthusiasm in favor of the amendment slowly faded. Now, 50 years later, some of the same inequalities that existed in the 1920s still exist.
There continue to be barriers for women candidates in fundraising. There continue to be barriers to women even choosing to become candidates and putting themselves out there for voters to consider. The research bears out that women still need far more encouragement and encouragement from other women to make the decision to run. And I would say it's also evidenced by where we are in the top office, right? Whether it was Carly Fiorina in the 2016 Republican primary in a crowded field, or a number of similarly talented women in the Democratic field in 2020, some of whom I served with, Kirsten Gillibrand and Amy Klobuchar, who still didn't make it to the nomination.